welcome to another episode of Greatness Quest, and every week I'm going to bring you somebody extraordinary to help you blow up your business. And today I'm actually in Las Vegas, Nevada, and we're in the casino. I'm here in the Palms Hotel, and we're going to go up and have a party in a little bit in the penthouse suite up in the Palms here. It's actually where the Real World TV show was actually made. Now, why am I shooting today's first part of this here in the casino? Here's the thing is, I think most people in business are gambling because they don't have a sound platform, a really good foundation for their business, for their marketing, for their lead generation. So my question to you is, what do you have right now that you can count on, that is your marketing that you can count on? Are you counting on, maybe you're sitting on a chair for your business. Imagine a chair that has a certain number of legs, right? If like you can have a stool that has 3 legs, but what happens, and let's look at some of these guys right here. Their slot machine right there. That is, they're putting all of their trust and faith and hope and gambling that coin is going to go ahead and give them a return. Are you gambling that way in your marketing? Are you gambling that way in your business, where if you lose one leg to the chair, what's going to happen to it? Because a lot of business owners will sometimes settle or get lazy or not be actually thinking about putting in a very sound foundation of having a platform for them to grow their business. Now I'm going to keep moving so I don't get busted here. I can already see one of the bouncers is coming to say, hey, you can't videotape in the casino, so I'm going to walk outside before I get kicked out of the hotel. But my question for you is, what can you do to build a solid platform and create a type of fame like the Real World cast, right? The Real World cast, that was a television show where they put these, I'm going to go outside so I really literally don't get kicked out by this guy, where the Real World cast became semi-famous because they were on a TV show, right? And that's one of the reasons that I broadcast my show, is to create a little bit of expert fame in a given niche. Now, how are you, walking here with some of the guys, how are you going to go ahead and do that? You know, are you going to have your fame because you're in nice cars? You know, got some nice cars here. What's this? This is a Bentley. That's not bad. You know, or what can you build for your platform? So I'm going to give you, to the subject of today, is I've got a few of my guests, are actually 2 of the guests that I have today that I'm going to introduce you to are co-authors in my book that I wrote with 22 #1 best-selling authors. I'm going to give you a better view of the city. This is kind of cool out here. This book is called Your Epic Book Launch. It's not about me. It's not even about the authors. It's about helping you use a book as a platform for your business to create like an expert fame, so that you don't need to be on the Real World TV show or on Grant Cardone's network. All that would be cool. Hey, there's the Palms there. See, we're at the Palms. You know, I'm going to turn away from the wind. What you can do is you can establish your own expert credibility and fame. Now, how can you do that? Well, one of the ways is you have a book. What would a book give you for your business? Would a book give you instant credibility? Would a book give you instant, damn, that's a lot of wind, I'm gonna move inside over here. Even if I get kicked out of the hotel, that'll be good for our video. Anyway, do you wanna see me get kicked out of the hotel? I'm gonna go back in. Too much noise, too much wind. So what would a book give you? Would it give you instant credibility? Would it give you instant authority in your niche? You know, what type of book could you have? A friend of mine actually has a restaurant and a bar in Hawaii. We were talking about, he goes, I don't think I need a book for my business. And I said, really? So I asked him the question. I said, what would your book need to be about to help drive more traffic, more business to your establishment? And so that one question of what would your book need to be about transformed his whole mindset and started creating new marketing strategies for him to use a book as another platform to create new clients for his business. I'm going to try to go past the bouncers here. So what your book can ideally do for you is create a desire for people to work with you. That's the ideal, is if you can have a book that creates a phenomenal desire in your client, that your book is actually the gateway, the new business card for your business. Now, the guests I have for you today are not names you've necessarily heard of before. One of them is going to help you with your media. how can you leverage your book, or just go ahead, and he's going to strictly talk about how you can, right now for your business, become in demand in your local marketplace for whether it's TV, radio, print, magazine, podcast, blogs. I'm excited to share with you because he's going to talk about how you can create traffic and leads and become in demand in your niche. Now, let's talk just a little bit about how you can establish that, like your authority, right? How can you establish your authority in a niche? I'll give you a couple examples. There's the Oprah method. You can interview people. It's actually the method I'm using today. I'm going to be I'm going to interview 2 of our authors, and I get to become the expert just by association. It's like the Oprah. Oprah wasn't necessarily. I'm going to try to stay away from all the noise. Oprah wasn't necessarily the an expert at all of her stuff. She actually aligned herself with other. I got to get out of this so I don't get busted here. With other amazing people. So you can use the interview or the Oprah method. You can also use press releases. If you put out a book or you're going to go to a conference like I'm here in Las Vegas, I'm not just here to party, although we're going to do some of that too. You can go ahead and actually send out free press releases telling the media that you have new things happening in your business, or even if you just go to a conference, you could let them know that your name is going to a famous place. This can help you establish some authority. Another one is, even if you wanted to get authority in a subject that you didn't know anything about, you could study it, summarize that content, and share it with people. That could actually be the key lead magnet that you need for your book. So again, I'm Trevor Crane. You're watching Greatness Quest. I can't wait to introduce you to the 2 guests you're going to get. We're going to take a quick break. Hey guys, welcome to Greatness Quest. I am bringing you 2 amazing authors today that are co-authors with Your Epic Book Launch. This is Ellie Savoy, #1 best-selling author of How to Stop Dieting and Start Living. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, Trevor. It's great to be here.
Well, you look great. The first time we tried to shoot this video image, it was all kind of garbly, and you look great right now. Ellie, you are known as a health and wellness encourager. Talk to us about what that means. What is it to be a health and wellness encourager?
Sure. Well, I feel that when we talk about, losing weight or becoming healthier, there seems to be about a lot of rules, deprivation, and restrictions. And when we pigeonhole ourselves into something like that, it's absolutely no fun whatsoever. So I come to it from a different perspective, having lost 30 pounds 4 years ago and kept it off. And really what we need is encouragement, not condemning. And, when we've fallen off the wagon, which us women generally always feel that way, we go so far and then we fall off. So this is a lifestyle change. It's not about a finish line, in record speed. This is sort of slow and steady wins the race, really.
Okay, so I think this is important for everybody here because I asked Ellie to be a part of this book, or actually one of my partners asked Ellie to be part of this book because we wanted her to share her story of success for her business. Like not everybody that's a best-selling author in our book has gone out and already grown this massive business. Ellie is using her book as the jumping off part, and she has a whole product system behind this. And what's really cool here too is that everybody can learn from Ellie because of the lifestyle change. I think that's really key. I know the first diet I ever did, I never had bigger cravings in my life than when I did the diet. Like as soon as I said no more sugar, I was just crazy for sugar. So I really like that instead of being the health encourage or enforcer, you're the encourager, and it celebrates something else you talk about in your book about not having to deal with perfection and letting perfection getting in the way of taking action. So talk a little bit about that.
Yes, absolutely. This was something I was guilty of all the time, where, we tend to wait for like a Monday or New Year's Day or something out in the future to make changes. And we sort of say to ourselves, well, I'll eat all of this first and get all of this out of the house, and then I can start. But the thing is that, that sets us up for failure, because it's when we remove everything that we like all at once, we feel deprived, and then we tend to binge. So again, it's like I say progression, not perfection, because when we're striving for perfection all the time, and that could have been my middle name, by the way, it's a pattern of mine, which, I've been changing over time. Then it becomes a lifestyle change. I can't emphasize that enough, really, because diets have a beginning and an end. And when we stop them and we go back to our old habits, then we just start the never-ending cycle again. So this progression, not perfection, is a really big piece.
I just was interviewing someone yesterday, and they were talking about how when they go to seminars, they'll go back to their hotel room and immediately start to apply what they just learned. They'll change their blog, they'll send a new email, they'll make a new video and take immediate action. And I was thinking how most people, and I know I've been guilty of this, has been my middle name of wanting to make it perfect and not just taking immediate action and starting anywhere. And we talked a little bit about what gets people to shift and decide this is finally it and they're going to start and take action. What was it for you that got you to finally say, I'm going to lose this weight and I'm going to do something that shifts my lifestyle versus just a temporary fix of a diet so I can lose this weight, or a temporary fix of I'm going to do this new thing in my business, and then we make a small commitment over a period of time and then we just slip back into the other bad patterns? What was it for you?
Back in 2011, I was diagnosed with 2 uterine fibroids when I had my annual Well Woman exam. And I was given 4 options. Don't worry, Trevor, you will never get these things. So it's a woman thing.
Okay, those are words that I don't normally use. Uterine,
I know, it doesn't roll off the tongue.
Thyroid
right?
thing. So I don't have to worry about that. That's not going to get in my brain.
No, you really don't have to worry about it. That's the good news. Anyway, so I was given 4 options, 3 of which were surgery. One of those options was a hysterectomy, and the 4th one was to do nothing. And I thought, well, I'm not having surgery, but I need to do something, and I wanted to do something because I'd really been dodging this whole sort of, making excuses for my annual weight gain. When I turned 35, it was, my metabolism is slowed down. When I turned 40, it's my hormones now. But when I got the fibroid diagnosis and I focused on my health instead of the number on the scales or, how I looked in my clothes, that's when things really changed for me. And it's almost like, I know it sounds a little cliche to say, well, I sort of stumbled upon the secret. It's not really a secret. It's just a mindset shift.
And what was that mindset shift? Because it sounds like it's not like you didn't notice your weight going up or look good and stuff like that. You said this was an annual thing that you might say at the beginning of the year, I'm going to go on a new diet. But when they threatened you with, we're going to have to cut out your insides, I imagine that uterine thing was when they made that threat. They said, well, you can do nothing and maybe die or have bigger challenges or whatever those problems were. And you're like, well, I'm not going to do nothing. But then you're like, I don't cut anything out here. There was maybe some options in between, and you shifted your focus from the past, which was diet and how do I look good, to something else. So again, what is that? Because there was a catalyst there for you that was a secret for you. But what is it? Is it just fear?
That's a very good question. I would imagine that there was some fear there, yes. It was actually shock at first. I mean, I felt really like, I couldn't believe I had those things. I mean, it wasn't.
You said it was a mind shift. I know we only have like a minute left. So you said it was a mind shift that wasn't a secret, but it was something. So what is that?
I wanted to be healthy. I wanted to change my ways. I wanted to stop making excuses. I wanted to take self-responsibility.
See, this is so freaking awesome because this, I think, it's either inspiration or desperation, and sometimes desperation stimulates inspiration, where you just said, I think the mind shift here is what I want. Clarity about what I want. What do we need?
Give it. Listen, wonderful viewers, if I can do it, you can do it. If you've been struggling with your weight and the way you look and feel, and you're taking medications to manage symptoms, and you really want to stop dieting and start living, I really encourage you to get my book, and I'm actually offering a free copy.
GreatnessQuest.com/start living, and you'll get Ellie's free book. See you in the next segment. watching Greatness Quest, and today I am bringing you one of our other co-authors from Your Epic Book Launch. This is Jess Toddfield. Brother, great for being here.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
I like this too, man. That's cool. Like,
we have video today. We got to play it up.
You got it. You got it. For those of you watching on podcast, you got to imagine what you did not see. So here, let me tell you a little bit about Todd. Today we're going to talk about, this is following up about what you're going to get in Your Epic Book Launch, and we're going to talk about massive media attention. Todd's actually been a producer for ABC, NBC, Fox. He has big clients like the UN, IBM, Land Rover. He is excellent. And look at the big smile on his face, man. He's like, hey, blow up my head. But brother, how can someone get major media attention? What do you share in the book, and how can they do that?
So, I like you said there, I'm a former TV producer. I'm a media trainer now. When I went and wrote a book, I realized, hey, I better be able to do this myself. So how can people do it? The good news is you can, you may hear airplanes going by. I don't know if you can hear it. Decided it'd be cool to do this in my backyard.
Yeah, are you in an airplane hangar or something?
I'm in an airplane hangar. They're coming to get me. The good news is you can write an email, and if you follow some of these steps, media will say, yeah, we want this, because they have slots to fill. This is the good news. The secret out of the gate. They have slots to fill. They're all day plugging holes, and they need your help. So if you're sitting around thinking, well, I don't know if I'm worthy enough or they'd want me, they want you. You just have to find the right angle.
Man, that is so exciting. I love that. They have slots to fill. They need your help.
I'm taking notes today, even though I wrote the whole chapter on it. But I'll tell you as much as we can tell you today.
Dude, that's great. Okay, so, and by the way, Jess knows what he's talking about. He's actually a Guinness Book of World Records holder what is it again? I don't want to mess it up.
The most interviews given in a 24-hour period. That means I was interviewed the most times on radio. That's how they do the record. It was 112 different stations, had to be 5 minutes long or longer in a 24-hour span. And when I did it, I was telling you on the breaks, I said, after the initial people saying, well, it was cool, and how'd you stay up all night? Okay, you drank coffee. The next question is, okay, how did you get all of those outlets to say yes? And how can we do it? And by the way, these techniques have worked for me in print. I have a couple examples that I can bring up. In fact, just in the last couple of months, I was in the New York Times. I don't know if you can see it in here, following the road to fame. And they talked about me and a few of my friends at the conference that we're at. And got my big mug on the cover of a magazine over here. Some old-timey TVs that they put on there. And but it still works. I used it for TV, print, radio, and now internet media. Although Trevor just asked me, which eventually then you just get asked. So let's give some meat.
Okay, so hold on. The question, so it works everywhere, but the question was, how can I do that as well, right? How did you get all these places to say yes? And the strategy, that's what you're gonna now share with us, is some of that how.
Exactly. I hate to be vague and not share stuff, so here's some stuff right out of the gate.
All right.
Which is, you need to, instead of worrying about a press release, I must write up a special press release, extra, read all about it, or for immediate release. That's kind of the old school way of writing a press release. What you want to do is you want to think about an email that's short and sweet, is to the point, and has a subject line that sounds like a newspaper headline that grabs you. In fact, to get specific, now they write their own headlines once they decide to do the story. So this one was following the roadmap to fame, and I talked about roadmap, so they were kind of quoting me. But I had said this was an event where professional speakers and myself were all together, and they were trying to be the next big media star. I was the speaker there. So I said, who will be the next Dr. Phil or Judge Judy? ? And then inside it said that again, and the subheadline was professional speakers descend on New York City. It was in New York City, my home city, to become the next big media star. So the headline in the subject line, most important, mainly because you want them to open up the email.
Yeah.
So when I was a producer for 13 years. You mentioned ABC, NBC, and Fox. And I would get hundreds and hundreds of emails every day. So I obviously didn't open everything up. You're kind of scrolling through, and if you blink, some of it goes down below the fold there. You can't see that little window, or on your phone it's too much. But when something would grab my eye, I mean, you only have part of a sentence to grab somebody's eye, I would open it up. And I realized when I left and I said, hey, I want to get publicity myself now. I started writing books and started getting out there, and I want to do it too. I said, what works? So that's the first thing out of the gate. Subject line, most important. And if you're thinking about your hook, which is not only the subject line but also in the email, think about this exercise. I like to call it the TVTs. Tonight at 11, we'll talk to a man or woman who says blank. What is it you say? Is it you say, you can lose weight while only eating fast food? I want to hear about that, if that's true. And it's funny, I've used that example for a bunch of years, and I found an article, somebody, I don't know if it was because of me, but that was the article. I pulled it out and said, I can't believe it. But obviously that worked. I want to see that story.
To lose weight by only eating fast food?
Only eating fast food. I mean, it's something surprising. So what makes a great headline or pitch or hook? You're hooking the media. It's something surprising. You can do lists. It can be the 5 ways you can blank. The 7 most important blanks for summer. It could be something, this goes back to the whole thing we used to do in TV, which would be to kind of scare people a little bit into watching later. What's in your medicine cabinet may kill you. Something like that. And you're like, oh, now I have to look in it. I'm going to die. So that's how you formulate some of those.
So now what would you say? So I love it. We got to have a headline. We got to have a hook. And you said that we don't need to do the old school press releases, although I'm sure that's all good. And I got a buddy of ours that's a co-author in this book, and he'd be like, dude, you got to have press releases for a variety of reasons. But
and for Google, you got to have press. It's just a whole other reason to get for Google and SEO and all. That's actually for a completely different reason, and you got to write it a different way.
Right. So that's actually written all for not to get you on media where they're asking you for interviews, get you interviewed. That's to get your SEO behind it.
Exactly.
Brilliant.
Right. This is focused on how do you write an email so that the media will just say, yeah, let's do it. They'll either pick up the phone or quote you.
Okay, so keep going because I'm all ears.
All right, so a little case study, and I'll give you examples of what works out of this case study. So a couple of years ago, one of our New York Congressmen, Anthony Weiner, maybe you remember him, he decided to become a photographer, a selfie photographer in the worst way. They were inappropriate photos. So he did this, and I had some friends who said, oh, Jesse, are you going out and you doing media on this? And I thought, I don't know. I got to think about this one for a second. Do I want to be in Google searches with this guy? But
hold on. This was stuff with his pants off where he had a selfie. Is that it?
Sometimes in his underwear, or sometimes I'm pretty sure it was. I don't remember the level of how much his pants, but they were below.
Okay, but so it didn't wasn't an eyesore that got caught in your mind you erased it.
You were trying to pick up women, and he was even using. Later on, it was his fake Twitter handle. I think was Carlos Danger. So he's a politician. It's been for so many reasons, but. I said, okay, good time to say, okay, I did that big Guinness record push on radio. Can I do something big with print? And I was busy. I was traveling, so I couldn't really do TV during that week that it was big. So I said, I'm going to write out the perfect email using my template. So some pieces of my template, I mentioned the subject line. When you open the email, instead of in that first eyeful, instead of what's usually there, which is for immediate release, and here's all my contact information, and dear Trevor, and then you don't even know what it is, and then you got to read through piles of text, just paragraphs. That doesn't work. So that's what not to do. Yeah. You open it up, and it's got to say, hi Trevor, hi first name. Could just say Trevor, comma.
Yeah.
And, I've actually trained PR companies, public relations companies, on how to do this. And they're like, but I feel like I should be more formal, and I should ask them how their day is going. There's no time for that. And actually, there's Oren Clef has a book called Pitch Anything, where he talks about how our brains work, and we receive pitches with the old reptilian part of the brain. You're already kind of framing yourself as being submissive instead of, hey, I have something that you need to know about. So just something on the brain chemistry part of it. So it's just Trevor, comma, hi Trevor, comma. If I'm writing it to Trevor over here. And then, would the story below work for you? A yes or no question. So this is something you can use in your business or elsewhere. It's so great. Works for pitches, but it works in general because the obligation is for a yes or no answer. That's it. They don't have to read through all. So I'm going to tell you, now you're probably thinking, but Jess, you haven't even made the pitch. We don't know what it is yet. Okay, so here's the rest of it. So it says, hi, Trevor. Would the story below work for you? My name is Jess. And then a big line. And they're like, who the heck is Jess? Maybe I know him. I don't know if I don't remember him. Now, below the line, so I call it above the line, below the line. Below the line is now all the meat of what you would have just put all over. But still don't put it as blocks of text. What you want to do is you want to now have the headline in a larger point size. Subhead, so what's in your medicine cabinet may kill you, in smaller, slightly smaller type. So it has to, notice the newspapers use a headline for a reason.
Right.
If they're full, this is what an email looks like normally.
Yeah.
That. You don't want that. No, you want it to grab them. They have pictures. You can use pictures. So, as I take a glass of water here, can I talk and drink?
You hold. That's as impressive if you can. And my name is Jess while he's drinking right there, and I'm smiling, drinking.
That my phone just saying, and another thing. Oh, next time.
That would be good. So, you could just hit play.
Quick, stop the recording. Back it up. No one will know. All right. So below the line, right? That headline. What's your medicine cabinet may kill you? The subhead might be something like, let's see, prominent New York dermatologist, I'm not one, but I'm making it up right now for the example, says that expired medicine kills 20,000 people every year. Are you the next victim? Questions, by the way, very. And then right after that, who I am, because on the receiving side, the media person, I was a TV producer, but whoever that media person is, they need to know all the who, what, when, where, why, and how.
Yeah.
Quickly. So now they know what the story is. They need to know who this is. So Jess Todfeld, I usually do a hyperlink to my bio, if it says bio, and a line or two about me. And then I have a point of view section. It says what Jess will say, or point of view, or something like that. And so for this print thing with Anthony Weiner, my little example, I said, quotes, what Jess will say, quotes Jess can deliver. And then I wrote out quotable quotes. So that's kind of off of some of my longer media training, but to not be vague and short, there are about 14 elements that that make a quote completely irresistible to the media. Some of them, and you can look in today's newspaper. I know they don't make this; they make physical newspapers, but you can go online, look on newspaper from today, USA Today. Go to USA Today. Look and see who's being quoted, who's in quotes. I like doing air quotes also. There's a Chris Farley routine. Some people say I sweat a lot, or I'm too loud, and I come to your house and I don't leave when I... Anyway, look for someone who's in quotes. And then, their answer is in quotes, and see what it is. And chances are it's either something surprising, has bold action words, has a strong opinion, emotion, It could be a cliche is a part of the answer. You think we've all been told never write cliches, but journalists can't stop themselves quoting someone else using cliches. It's spooky. Go to USA Today from today, whatever day you're watching it, and you will see some of these elements in there. So basically, I stacked the deck, and I came up with a bunch of bullet point answers that had these in them. And the one that went to about 50 newspapers, I basically sent out one email. I sent out one email again, just saying, "Hey, did you see this email?" And we're talking about major outlets: Washington Times, Washington Post, Forbes.com, Vancouver Sun, Dallas Times, I think it was, a bunch of other ones. And the quote was, this congressman had not stepped down yet. So it said, "Can Anthony Weiner come back from this mortal wound?" Ooh, bold action.
Mortal wound, got it. That's your bold action word. Going back to your template here, so it's a surprise, it's a question, and your bold action word in this case is mortal wound. Is that right?
Yeah, mortal wound, and also that was a rhetorical question. And then another element right after. I mean, I stacked the deck. You only need one element, but I just said, what happens if I just load them all up?
Yeah.
And I said he can never truly get past this, which is an absolute, another one of the elements.
Which is your opinion.
And opinion. And I don't have the full answer in front of me, but the rest was something like, but it doesn't mean he's completely out of the water, cliche. He can always go and get a job on a reality show or host a program on CNN, which is pop culture reference, and a little conflict, which is another thing, conflict quotes, off of the networks that hire people who have sex scandals. What's that about? Or they give them a show.
Right.
So went to all these newspapers, and I got unbelievable quotes, too, because they said, Jess Todfeld, a media training expert from New York City. Now that's in every intro when I do a speech or go on some other show or something like that. So,
all right. So now works. It sounds like it works like friggin' hotcakes, and I'm excited. So I've done this in the past. I'm not so excited that I'm getting aroused, but that could happen. I'm thinking of what I've done with magazines. I've grabbed magazines, like use Cosmo or something, and you're looking at the front of it, and you look at the headlines. Like, that's what's grabbing people's attention. That's what's going to sell the inside of the magazine or get people to buy it. So I hadn't thought of it, though, to start looking through and consider it from the media side and sending that powerful email. So I know you have a free gift. Talk to me about that. Anybody who's listening to this can go to greatnessquest.com/media star. That's media star. So if you want to be a media star, then you need this. And talk about what that's going to give them, because we have more help than just this one interview.
Yeah, it's free stuff. I don't know if you hear that in the background. Do you hear it over there?
Are you on like a battleship or something? Because it sounds like a lightsaber.
Maybe, but hopefully you tell me if it's an issue.
It's all right. It's all right.
Outside, but here's the free gift: a media training toolkit. So go to that web address and you'll be able to get it. But it's basically, I want you to be able to go out there and do interviews and be confident. That's one of the things. That's what I feel like I really do in my job as a media trainer and consultant, and go out there. It's not necessarily, tell people, hey, here's how to sit and stand, which is some of the stuff that's on that toolkit. But it's really giving you the confidence to say, you know what, I think I can do this. I can do it. Mm-hmm. So you go there, there's top 10 lists on the different types of interviews: TV, print, radio, internet media, satellite, and a bunch of videos. And then there's another link if you want even more stuff that's on there, because it's a good toe in the water.
You know what, Jess, let me talk to that for a second, because I'm thinking there's a lot of people that are scared about, we all are kind of scared of what we don't know, right? You're looking at something and you're like, you don't know what you don't know, and you're like, oh my God, what am I? I don't want to look stupid, and the last thing I want to do is like overstep my bounds, and like I'm scared, wouldn't know what to say, and a confused mind will typically say no and do nothing. So I can imagine someone being like, well, I don't know what I would say on CNN, ABC, NBC, and like how the hell I would sit there and what the heck I would say. So what do you say to that person that's all scared? Because you said that you give people confidence, and I know, man, confidence is convincing. If someone's just confident, you're like, I don't know what the hell he said, but he believes in it. I want some. So what do you tell to say to the person that's too scared to? And I'm not saying that in a pussy way. I'm saying that in like anything that holds us back from taking action.
Right. Well, I'll rattle off a bunch of things. One is, somewhere in you, you have a story that's worth telling. So obviously, if you have a business, there's something you do that's unique and different. It's worth telling. You wrote a book, definitely something worth telling. You wrote a whole book about it. There's probably a personal story there. It's just about packaging it and getting that hook. But like you said, there's still that piece that holds us back, and usually the biggest limit is ourselves. So one of the things that I do when I train people, I mean, this is the best way I get people there, is they come work with me. People are welcome to look me up and figure out how to do that.
Well, actually, how are they going to get in touch with you, Jess, so they can find you?
How can they do that? You can go to, you can email me, Jess, J-E-S as in Sam, S as in Sam, at successinmedia.com, or go to Success in Media, the website. But when I have people in front of me and we have the video camera, I'll videotape them. I'll give them something to do. I'll segment the day where I'll say, right now, we want to quickly get your body language and your voice up to speed. Do these few things. Don't worry about the questions. I ask them a bunch of questions. We play it back. They say, that looked better than I thought it would look, just because they're a little bit more animated and interesting, and they have energy in their voice. Then we add on the messages and some of those unique things and the sound bite. We do a whole section on, we craft those sound bites together, and they say, oh, this is awesome. And then they're saying it, and I play it back. So really in the playback where you think people would be hating it, the idea for me is to just layer it on so they get better and better. And, but you can do some practice yourself.
Okay, so I heard two things here. You skipped the first part. You said it, but I'm going to say it differently. Get help. Like the way you basically just said it is, you're like, well, if Trevor, if you're working with me, then why don't you come down and let's actually practice? That was the second thing, is you have to do it. And like, I find myself in a lot of situations now that I'm not nervous, scared. I can do a lot of interviews without like freaking out, because I've already been there, I've already done it, I've already experienced it, and I know that the person interviewing me has my back. They're there to make me win. They don't want me to look like an ass, or that's going to make a bad show. So I'm not scared, but that's because I've done it before. And actually, I did the first step, which is I got help to get to the point in the first place, so I was brave enough to go do it, because I get scared, everybody gets scared.
So right now, best thing you could do is you could read the book. I have my chapter in there. That's some help for you. You can get some of the free resources and check those out. That's for you. If you want a media list, reach out to me. I'll tell you how you can get a media list if you're going to do it yourself. Or I don't do publicity for other people, but depending on what you do, I can recommend somebody who's not me. And then certainly, whether it's me or somebody else, practice, get help, and be like Nike and just do it.
Just do it. I think that's the key. Even bad publicity is good publicity. Someone's at least talking about you. So, brother, it's been great having you. I know we have a tight timetable here, so I could talk to you for a long time. I can get it. I'm having a lot of fun, and I can barely hear the lawnmower / lightsaber.
I better be cool today, but that's how real it is. We're keeping it real.
Keeping it real. All right, brother. Any last? Do you think Darth Vader was sneaking up on you? You look cool. I'll let you know. I got your back.
Get him on there.
So, last question. Any last words of advice? People watching, this is Greatness Quest, and I help people go to the next level in their business. We're talking about how they can get some massive media attention. Last words of advice to them.
Step one, be like Nike and just do it. Take action today. Have an action plan. Just say, I'm going to do it. I want to be on my local, by the way, it's even easier for local, but say I want to be on my local NBC channel. And then break it down into the smallest pieces and just do something. Reach out, ask whoever can help you. Try to do it yourself if you want to do that. But put it on the list, because it's the reason to do media interviews is that it's powerful marketing. And this is like we used to say, you bury the lead. When somebody goes to my website and they're thinking about working with me for something else, and they see Jess was in the New York Times, he was on the cover of some magazine, or here he is in an interview and you hear him talking, it carries a lot of weight. That's really where people see the interviews. And then they say, all right, social proof. I see that you must be the real deal. These outlets put you on, and now I would like to work with you and pay you. That's how that part works.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the day you're on whatever morning show that everybody tuned in. It's we're in the 2000s now. People see it on your website. That's how it happens. Or on social media.
Right, they're going to see that proof later when you're promoting it. All right, so that's it. Be like Nike, just do it. Guys, you're watching Greatness Quest. We're going to be here next week. I'm going to help you with someone else that's going to take you to the next level in your business. Go out and get Josh's free... Josh, you're not Josh, but it'd be great to have you talk. Go get Josh's stuff, too. If you want to get Jess's...
Forget Josh, whoever.
Yeah, who the hell is Josh? I don't even know. Go to get Jess's gift, greatnessquest.com/media star. That's you, the new media star. You're going to get the template there he's going to help you with. And then get the book, Your Epic Book Launch. Is going to blow you away, and you'll see his chapter in there as well. We'll see you next week. Jess, Josh, where the hell you are. Great to have you here today.
I'm a mystery today. Thanks for having me.
All right, man. Thank you so much.
Greatness Quest is also available for download on iTunes and Stitcher. See the link in the description below.